Well, hello friends. It is so nice to do another video. I'm really getting into the swing of things, and I've had my channel for quite a few months, but really just enjoying everyone else's channels and using it for that reason. I'm primarily on Facebook. I'm Jeanette, by the way. Hello. If you are new here, which you probably are because my channel is very small and modest and new. My nursery is Stardust and Moonlight Reborn dolls. I paint vinyl and silicone dolls, mostly vinyl. I prefer vinyl in painting. And I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, hang out with me a little more often, and we can kind of get to know each other. And I am primarily on Facebook. That's where I have my nursery page. I also sell my dolls on reborns.com. If you're familiar with that, it is a website where artists and collectors alike can sell dolls, and it's a safe place to do that, so for buyers and sellers alike. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something, and most of the things I talk about, gosh, I try to be as original as possible. They're not things I'm hearing about. So I want to talk about what you're afraid of. What you're afraid of in this hobby. I think that'll be interesting, and I can't wait to hear what some of you say. Before we do that, I would like to introduce Little Miss Scarlett by Bonnie Brown. She is a sold out limited edition kit, and she is just quite precious. And I want to change her into something with you today as we chat. By the way, I understand that calling this a chat is kind of, well, it's not very accurate, is it? Because I'm talking and you're listening. And I would much prefer we were chatting, and we can make this an interactive conversation. I think the closest thing to that happening would be a live on YouTube. But that will be far in our future because we need 1,000 subscribers to do that. So in the meantime, please leave comments. I really would like to get to know you. And if you have a channel, I will be checking you out as well if I am not already subscribed to you. And the other thing is, I'm always open to chatting. If you're a collector and you feel like you need an ally in this community who is an artist, feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I am happy to help. It's something that I think as an artist, I've always wanted my niche to be, of just being a super approachable, friendly artist that collectors can talk to. Even people who buy my dolls, and they just want to chat about their lives, show me their other dolls. I think that that's something that's really special. And this community wouldn't really be here if it weren't for artists and collectors and the collaboration we have together. So I'm not a fan of artists being unapproachable or off-putting in any way. Hopefully that's not most experiences that collectors have. I also have helped a few of my customers become Reborn artists. I love giving tips. I love those who are new in that whole scheme of things and just wondering, where do I start? Should I start? Can I start? I love helping them jump over that, set of thinking and make the leap, and just give whatever attention I can to them as they venture out into creating these dolls. So anyway, we are going to change her into an adorable outfit. I seem to be a little bit prone to putting her in pink because it just matches her skin tone beautifully. Let me do a little close-up of her while she's naked. She's done very beautifully. I love her hands. I love the shape of her hands, you know, the sculpting of her hands. You know, you gotta love an opened and closed hand on one doll. But I also love her coloring. She's very beautiful. And this is her hair. So, without further ado, let's put this little angel right there and we will get going. Okay, so here's our little ensemble for the day. True to form, she's gonna be in pink. How cute is this? I love the details on this. Very delicate, feminine, just gorgeous. Got these little booties. A little bit darker pink, but I kind of like having those added. Little bracelet, and we will top it off with a little, oh my goodness. Who is that? I was about to say Tigger. Piglet. Piglet. Okay, Piglet pacifier. So I'm just checking that she's in frame. Okay, looks good. So topic, you guys. Our topic is, what are you afraid of? Why am I asking that, by the way? And what the heck do I mean by it? I'm just trying to grab my scissors here. What I mean is, when you enter this hobby, or when you did enter this hobby, and as you navigate your way through it, I want to know, what are some things that you are afraid of? Here's some things I think a lot of collectors are afraid of. Some are afraid of what others are going to think. And that one is a big one. We kind of touched on that a tiny bit in my last video, but it was more about, you know, fighting reborn addiction and doing that in a way that doesn't completely disregard others around us and what their opinion is of the hobby. So if you have people in your life saying, oh my goodness, those dolls are creepy, I don't like them, why do you collect these? That is not healthy. That's not healthy feedback. That's just mean. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, I'm just going to take her off camera to button her up here. Or maybe here we go. What I'm talking about is those who, you know, when we get a tiny bit out of hand, right, with our collecting, when they kind of give their feedback, like, hey, I'm a little concerned here. How much are these dolls costing? Those kind of, that kind of input is something we should be valuing to an extent, right? Because we have to figure out what is good for us. Now, what I would say is that if you have someone in your life, or you're scared of those in your life who are not going to accept this, you know, poo on them, right? I think confidence is key. And so I would suggest, whenever you approach anything in your life that you're passionate about and that you enjoy, that others may not understand fully, go forward in confidence. You know, take those babies out or display those babies in your house as confidently as possible, because confidence will read very strongly, and I think it'll just help get rid of those naysayers. Another thing people are afraid about is, you know, seeing a doll that they love And, you know, being afraid that, let's say it's a large purchase. Let's say, you know, you found this prototype, right? Or this beautifully painted doll from a master artist. Or, you know, doesn't even have to be that. It could be a doll that for whatever your price range is, it's a little bit up there. And maybe the price of the doll is not even the issue. I think that's a common one to make us a little scared. But maybe it's just a matter of, wow, I love this doll so much that I want to love it. I'm nervous. So I think that makes us scared too. When we make that final purchase and we decide we're going with this baby, we're kind of scared that we may not, you know, as they say, bond with the doll or fully appreciate the doll. This is so cute. Now this is a 1 month size, so it's a little big on her. She is a comfortably newborn fitting doll. And I love this sweater that went with it, but it's quite bulky, and this dress is quite bulky. But that's okay, because I think with the cooler weather, we could do a little bulk, but it kind of makes her look like she's got some muscles on her, huh? Maybe not. Okay, so anyway, my point is, I think we all have that fear. And what I would say to that is think in your mind, give yourself a little break, first of all, because you can get an incredibly painted masterpiece of a doll and not truly bond with it the way you had hoped. That's so common. It's just, there's so many reasons someone connects with a doll. I had a doll that was from maybe, you know, a newer kind of artist in the beginning when I was collecting, and maybe not the most extravagantly painted or detailed doll, and not even the most popular kit, and wasn't very expensive at all. And I tended to gravitate towards that one more than others. Interesting how that happens, right? So there's so many factors that come into play. And I think that's why it's so fun, this hobby. It's like, what creates that magic? What creates that magic for us that everything fits into place and we love the doll? So I would say, even though we do get scared of that, tell yourself, you know, I purchased this doll for X amount. I was drawn to this doll. There is someone out there who will be too, if I decide to sell. And then give yourself all the opportunity to enjoy the baby when the baby comes. I want to find a way to, there we go. I love her legs, like they're phenomenal, and her feet. I am such a big feet person, and I don't like covering them up with socks or anything. So I'm kind of hesitating. She also has beautiful veining. I don't know if it's going to pick up in the camera, but the subtle veining on her, this is similar to what I do. And it takes quite a bit of time to master it when you're an artist. You can even see the veining right here, capillaries here in purple tones, capillary in here. This is a beautifully painted baby. It's really masterfully done. And so I really enjoy her. I was going to sell her at one point, and I had quite a few people interested when I put the idea out there without commitment to sell, and I decided she's too precious to me. Bonnie Brown and these feet of hers and hands. I mean, look at her. She's just phenomenal. Look at those feet. She's actually got big feet for a baby. So I suppose I have to cover them up now. My goodness, don't want to do it. So I would say those are some things that can invoke fear. Another thing that can invoke fear is speaking out. When you know, hear something or see something that isn't right, you know, this community can be volatile. So, you know, if you speak up and say something, you know, there's a chance that that's gonna bite you on the butt. I would say don't worry about that too much, because what I tell myself is These are dolls. This is a hobby of dolls. And honestly, sometimes we all take ourselves too seriously in this community. Honestly. Now, there's some topics that are really important, and they, should get heated discussion or, justified time to speak out about. But I don't know. There's just some things people get really upset over, little things, Sometimes it's etiquette when you're posting dolls in groups and things like that. But sometimes I get really annoyed by stuff, and I'm one of those people that like to speak out. But I also have to, remember, I want her diaper to kind of peek out here. I also have to remember that I am an artist. So, I wish I could be kind of a little rambunctious with my opinions and things like that. But I have to think about my business and just, I don't want to offend people. And I'm not that kind of person. But sometimes I wish I was just a collector and I could, put people in their place if they're being rude or mean. Now on YouTube, if there's some things going on that I don't like, I will talk about it. And ultimately, I'm going to take my own advice. These are dolls. This is a hobby of dolls. Sometimes we take ourselves too seriously and we get into too much drama. We get into the weeds too much about things. It's really not that serious, right? It's really all in fun. So here is her piglet pacifier. Oh my goodness. Adorable. Wait, I think her magnet shifted just a bit. I don't like covering their lips either, but that's a cute little outfit. What do you think? I'm going to look in here in the camera. Oh, her leg has been off camera. Maybe I should show you her feet again. Because, oh my gosh, I love them. I love them. Look at her all curled up like this. Oh, she's just gorgeous. Those gorgeous little feet. Love them. I don't want to cover them, you guys. So what are you afraid of? What are some other things? I don't want to make this video super long, but I know there's so many more topics. Are you afraid that maybe you are going to have something happen and you have to sell your entire collection? Are you afraid of losing the bond you have with that one special doll? What are you afraid of? I think it's okay to say you're afraid of something. And again, it's not like a terrifying or debilitating or paralyzing fear, I'm sure, because this is a doll hobby. But I think sometimes we get a little stress and anxiety and fear that's evoked by collecting and, things like that. So, So I'm just curious what that is for you guys. If you feel comfortable sharing, that would be great. And then before I go, I did want to share something else with you, which happens to be a doll for sale. So I made this silicone cuddle baby I'm about to share with you here. And I had a buyer, and unfortunately she could not make the payments. She couldn't fulfill her obligation when I held the baby for her. So that happens. It's a bummer. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus because things happen. I will say, if that's going to happen to you, I know it's kind of scary to reach out to an artist and tell them that, but please have communication as soon as possible about it, because for us having, a doll sitting for a long time is really rough, especially if we had someone else who was interested. I actually had someone else who was interested at the same time this other woman was, and she wanted to pay full price up front, but I honored my, commitment to this buyer to give her 90 days to pay, and she wasn't able to fulfill it. I had to reach out to her on the final day of the 90-day plan, and she just couldn't do it. So anyway, here she is. This is the Angelina, oops, let me get her in frame here. This is the Angelina Sculpt by Silicone Studios. And you can see she's a big baby. So let me make sure she gets in frame here. Yep, she's kind of in there. She is a 0 to 3 month Reggie body. If you don't know what a Reggie body is, they are premium cuddle bodies. They're fantastic and very, very poseable. So she's on one of those. They're rather expensive and really premium bodies. She is super duper squishy. I had a lot of fun painting her. She takes a full pacifier. Let's see if I have one. Well, I have a modified. Let's see. I have a modified pacifier I could stick in her mouth. Where'd it go? Well, this is a dinosaur pacifier, but she can be a boy or girl. She has fantastic gums, as you can see, and quite the large mouth. I'm actually gonna stick a pacifier in there because she has a big mouth. So let's see, get that in there. Oops. There we go. So she is adorable. She is available for $5.50 plus shipping. And I'm happy to talk to anyone who is interested in her. If you haven't had a silicone baby yet, this would be a great start. She is super cuddly. I weighted her really well. So she has premium polyfill stuffing, glass beads, just like a vinyl Reborn would have, but her body is cloth. And maybe I'll unzip her and just show you really quick what the premium body looks like. So this is the premium Reggie body here, and it's jointed. So there's lots of posable opportunities there. And, you know, Angelina is just a sweet baby. She's very realistic looking. She's very floppy and super squishy. Super squishy. So there she is. And if you're interested in her, I'm willing to do a payment plan for someone. I offer 90-day payment plans, $100 non-refundable deposit, and I don't nag my customers to make payments. And so I suppose that can get me into trouble like it did with the last person, but thankfully it hasn't happened to me often where people back out. I tell the customer, here's your invoice from PayPal. You can go back to this invoice at any time to make payments. The terms are up to you. You can, you know, make payments monthly, weekly, or just pay all at the end. But when that 90 days comes up, I will be contacting you to see where you're at with it if you haven't paid in full. And once you pay in full, she ships out to you. She sure does. She is looking for a mommy. Here's her side view. She's absolutely adorable. So if you're interested, let me know. And I will say goodbye. Little Scarlett says goodbye. She's adorable. And we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. We only have a few more days until the weekend. Thanks, guys. Bye.